How many Denver Broncos are on the bubble ahead of training camp 2025? Which position battles intrigue you the most for this upcoming Denver Broncos team? And at the end of today's show, we will welcome in a special guest to help us preview a wonderful event, recurring event that we have going on here in partnership with one of our favorite local charities. All things to come on today's rundown, but we will begin in the world of the NFL, where it is now or never for a handful of Denver Broncos hopefuls who are fighting their way to try and make the 2025 roster. So writes our senior Broncos writer and friend of the show, Andrew Mason. Mace has an article out at denversports.com. If you haven't seen it, check it out, about certain Denver Broncos who may be fighting for a roster spot just over a month from today when training camp 2025 is underway. The names that Andrew Mason highlights specifically are cornerback Damari Mathis, who was a subtle contributor last year with injuries to Riley Moss, Patrick Surtain, etc. Has been kind of that cornerback 3, cornerback 4 hanging around there that now gets crowded with the addition of first-round draft pick Zade Barron. You also have safety Delaren Turner-Yell. The Broncos brought in Brandon Jones. They now signed Talanoa Hufanga. So back-to-back seasons with free agent acquisitions, veteran acquisitions at the safety position. And then defensive lineman who had a little bit of a controversial start to his professional and Denver Broncos career. That is Ioma Ini Uwazurike out of Iowa State. So cornerback, safety, defensive line, 3 players at 3 different positions, all on the defensive side of the ball, that may find themselves odd man out in a now or never situation come training camp. I certainly think the cornerback room with the reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain, surprising rookie Riley Moss, first-round draft pick Zade Barron, and kind of slept on third corner, slot corner, Jaquan McMillan, who was a free agent pickup from the San Francisco 49ers, something the Denver Broncos are getting a little bit more comfortable with each passing year. I certainly think that Delaren Turner-Yell and Damari Mathis find themselves in much more crowded rooms. And for Ini Uwazurike, even though that's a crowded room on the defensive line, with Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers and Malcolm Roach and just that stout interior defensive line that the Broncos have amassed, all of which are coming up on expiring contracts. But for the 2025 season, it could be tough for Ini Uwazurike to try to fight his way back to the field as he continues the next chapter of his career after some gambling and unfortunate off-field issues that found him on the wrong side of the disciplinary committee with the National Football League. Other names to keep an eye on. We have talked ad nauseum about the running back room and how Sean Payton is going to divvy up those carries between Tyler Bidet, Audric Estime, J.K. Dobbins, the former Charger, now Denver Bronco, second-round draft pick R.J. Harvey, and Blake Watson. So, and that doesn't even mention Jaleel McLaughlin, who kind of in Audric Estime is battling to try to figure out who can be that potential RB3 in Sean Payton's offense. Because we know J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey are making this team. So does Sean Payton carry 3 running backs? Does he carry 4 running backs? I'm not very confident that he'll carry more than 3. We've seen it in the past, but it's certainly going to be something to keep an eye on. Just like Ini Uwazurike, defensive lineman Matt Henningsen, a late-round draft pick from just a couple of years ago, is finding himself struggling to find playing time likely in this upcoming season. Tight end Lucas Kroll, someone that our guy Cecil Lammy said was one of the better players on the roster ahead of training camp last season, will certainly find himself at a little bit of a backseat with the addition of Evan Ingram to be Sean Payton's joker. And then safety J.L. Skinner will find himself in a similarly crowded room to some of the names that we've mentioned before. All of this to say, this training camp in 2025 for the Denver Broncos is going to be fascinating. You have the ascension of Bo Nix as he enters his sophomore season. He's already spoken on the record, as has Sean Payton, about looking more comfortable, looking faster, not worried as much about getting the play in and setting things up at the line of scrimmage, the fundamental aspect of being a quarterback at the NFL level, and is being allowed to have a little bit more creativity, a little bit more fluidity, and just overall more control of that offense. And with that will come the hopeful expansion of a run game with J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. We will find out which man will be able to fight it out in that third running back slot. Will it be Audric Estime, the draft pick from just last season out of Notre Dame, who Sean Payton had this roller coaster relationship with of inspiring faith to frustration to complete abandonment as he misses out on a playoff jersey at the playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. And then Jaleel McLaughlin, who showed so much promise and speed and burst in moments, but was never able to do it consistently, even when given larger carries and sample size to do so because of the ineffectiveness of Javonte Williams, who now finds himself in the Lone Star state. You have the additions on defense of Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga and the first-round draft pick Zadeh Barron. Will they be able to maintain the extremely high bar that was set by Vance Joseph's unit just a year ago with the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Pro Bowlers and first-team All-Pros all over the board from Zach Allen to Nick Bonito, and the like? Can Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga and, frankly, J.K. Dobbins, the offensive addition, all stay healthy, as injuries have been the main thing that have held back those three men in their young to moderate careers in the NFL? Because when they've been healthy, they've been some of the better players at their position around the league. There are so many questions with this Denver Broncos squad heading into 2025 that don't have to do with the quarterback for once, but are still going to be fascinating to watch pan out just over a little bit more than a month from today. We will shift gears and pivot to an amazing cause that we have going on here at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Is the second iteration, the sequel to our Be a Mentor, Be a Fan youth football camp that we are putting on for the second year in a row at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. The two men you see in the bottom corner of your screen there, Phillip Lindsay and Brandon Stokley, fan favorite Denver Broncos, will be on site, on hand. The alma mater of our guy, Phillip Lindsay, will be on hand to help young men and women fine-tune their skills, learn the game of football, get out and be active, and just give back to the community that has helped shape both of these men, Phillip Lindsay in particular, in a way that is so special and near and dear to our hearts. And we do that in partnership with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado. And I have here with me today Javon Carter, the enrollment cohesion specialist for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado. Javon, thank you for joining me today.
Richie, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, Javon, as an enrollment cohesion specialist for Big Brothers and Big Sisters Colorado, tell our listeners a little bit more about what you do in relationship to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Colorado and what your guys' mission is overall.
Yeah, happy to, Richie. As a enrollment cohesion specialist, my job is to assist volunteers and families as they get enrolled and work their way through our enrollment process. I mainly focus on the volunteer side. There are multiple steps to our enrollment process. As you know, here at Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado, our main focus is the safety of everybody involved in our match and our programs. Therefore, our enrollment process is a bit rigorous, but I help volunteers get through that process as smooth and as quick as possible.
How would you describe the need for mentorship among the youth in our community? That is the aspect of what you guys do that I think is most valuable and stands out the most to me, is that you provide young men and young women, boys and girls, with quality role models to help usher in the next chapters of their lives at such a developmental stage.
Absolutely. I think right now the role of mentoring is critical. I think we are at a point right now in the world where there are so many things going on and there's so many factors that are affecting our young people in different ways. And mentoring is just one of the things that can help bring out the good in them, that gives them a voice. It empowers them to feel like they have control over their future and not like their future is just happening to them.
When it comes to mentorship and just the needs that you described there, what more can we do as members of the community to help you along that mission? How can we get a hold of you? What are the best resources for us to be able to use if there are those of us out there who want to be more involved?
Getting a hold of me, I am available through LinkedIn. You can Google Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, and that will bring you to our main web page where you will find all sorts of information. You will find resources about how our program affects the youth, our results from kids who have been through our program. You will also find very detailed instructions on how you can become involved, whether that is volunteering to become a big, whether that is financial donations, whether that is giving your time and helping out at specific events and things like that.
What kind of things do your volunteer mentors, your bigs, do with your program at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado? What is the interaction like, and how does the mentorship kind of take place with the littles and the young boys and girls and men and women in the community?
That's a three-part question there, Richie. We have three different programs within our mentoring services. We have our community mentoring program where you're matched one-on-one with the youth. You guys just hang out, spend time together doing things that you both find enjoyable, whether that is going to the park and playing catch, whether that is going and getting some ice cream, whether that is hanging out in the front yard and just talking for an hour or two. I think people have this notion in their mind that mentoring is this super big lift, and people don't realize that you mentor all day, every day throughout your entire life. There's just not a name put to it. Here at our program, we just put a name to it. We have our site-based program where you are in a group setting you're still matched one-on-one with another mentor, but you're in a group setting, so you're around other matches. Those are also facilitated by our staff members who just help keep the pace and help make sure that everybody's enjoying themselves, staying safe, and getting the most out of their mentorship. And then we have our school-based programming where our staff are in the schools and they're teaching upperclassmen about how to be mentors to their younger classmen. And that just creates a whole new world of opportunities for them.
That sounds really comprehensive and just kind of from top to bottom. And I'm such a big fan of the work that you guys do out there. Please, if any of you out there are interested in becoming a big and being more involved with your community, there are a few better causes that I can think of to put the name behind than mentoring and guiding the next generation, tomorrow's youth, as they have some of the more formative years of their lives. So please, please, please break out the Google machine, look up Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, find out more ways like I have, like we here at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan have, of being more involved with the community and helping out these kids, as we will tomorrow at our Be a Mentor, Be a Fan youth football camp at Denver South's All-City Stadium, right up the street in Denver, Colorado, the home and the alma mater of our guy, Phillip Lindsay, helping the next generation of youth get connected with athletics, get out and get active, and really just find ways to be involved in the community. Javon, thank you so much for joining me today. Appreciate everything that you do with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Colorado, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Richie. It was a pleasure.
Of course. To the rest of you out there, have a wonderful rest of your Friday afternoon. The weekend is upon us, and we will catch you again at the same time in the same place on Monday.
I do what I love what I do. It's second nature to put in the work.